You cannot learn from books. Replace these pages with life lessons.
Okay, here's the book. This is called Music Speed Reading, and it is by David Hickman. Here he is on the back. This is an old book. I forget where I even got this. Century City, Trigram Music Incorporated. All right, so what he does in the very beginning, and let's take a look at that very first. Where to go? Shoot. Here's one of the pages of the book. There you go. There you go. Speed reading. You notice each line has 24 notes on it. And the purpose of this is to first learn to play these notes, maybe as half notes or whole notes or whatever. And then you want to play them as quarter notes, then eighth notes, then a triplet, and then 16th notes. Once you can successfully do that, then you come over here and you put a key signature in. B flat. All the B's are flat. Or E flat. B flat, E flat. Okay? And then you go through and play it. I think it's a very interesting idea. I think it's, if you notice, there are no ledger lines. Well, there's a few, I guess. In the book, here's what basically he says here. Here is the, whoops, here is, if you can see this part here, here is what he's written out with just dots. And then this is what you're going to now play it as quarter notes. Then you're going to play it as eighth notes. Then you're going to play it as triplets. And then you're going to play it as sixteenths. And this is all about note identification. I think it's a good book. I really do. I think it gets you thinking. I think your eyes get tired. Now, one of the things he talks about in the book is learn to look at multiple notes. Learn to focus at 5, 6, 7 notes, 8 notes all at once. It's like speed reading a textbook, right? You don't look at every note. You try to look as far as you can into the entire sentence. And so then that's what you do with this book. If I took this first line here, basically, I would maybe just play it and go, let me put this up. Now I'm going to play it as eighth notes. Now I'm going to try to play it as triplets. And then as eighth note, 16th. Forget it. That's going to require practice. Okay, but you get the idea? Now, he goes through this with several things. And then he's got a bunch of reading etudes in the back. So I believe it's a good book for note identification on the guitar, learn to play some of these things in multiple positions. Basically, if you divide the guitar up in thirds, so you have first position, fifth position, eighth positions, you want to play that. And then move on. Just keep doing it. Now that's note identification. Now I have a course. It's called Rhythms at First Sight. And what that is about is looking at a rhythm and knowing what it sounds like before you even have to count it. That's how these studio guys can play. They've played so much music. They know when they see one measure, they know the rhythm of that measure. Then all they got to do is fill in the notes. It's like they've already seen this before. And then they can do it with two measures. So they're always reading ahead. So one of the important things is being able to not just count a rhythm, but to see it and know what it sounds like without counting. And that's what my Rhythms at First Sight course is. I think that's available on the library, I believe. Okay, so I recommend that book. I don't know if it's still in print, but you can probably find a used copy if you're interested in becoming a better reader. Now, I always tell my students that unless you're going to be a studio musician playing legit music, big band and stuff, nobody reads in. Well, I don't want to say that. A lot of record dates and stuff is studio musicians aren't required to read music. They're required to be creative. Okay, but you want to be able to read music enough to learn is the right way to put it. You got to be able to learn enough, be able to read enough to learn, and I think that would be your best expectation to get to that point. Now, if you're going to play a Broadway show, if you're going to go on a road go on the sea with a cruise ship, you might have to learn to read notes, but a lot of it you don't have to. And I want to also say, a lot of people make fun of guitar players because, the old saying, how do you get them to turn down, give them a chart. Well, we didn't learn this instrument by learning how to read first, unless you did Mel Bay, and it was just tedious stuff. We didn't want to do that. We wanted to play. Right? We didn't need to read that. We put on a record, and picked it out. So guitar players have much better ears than a trombone player or anybody who learned to read. Okay, they have better ears. They're more creative. That's a general statement. Don't get all pissed off at me if So, it's two sides to each coin. So, but you want to become the best musician you possibly can, not just a guitar player, but a musician. So, pick up the book. I think it's good. And that concludes our pages from a book.
You cannot learn from books. Replace these pages with life lessons.